Alex.
What about him being because I've been to these different university departments at UT and others, over 90% of them are funded by Department of Defense. And we're looking into it now. Preliminary, this program he was part of was an advanced DARPA-funded mind interface. In fact, guys, put that article back up for me. It's out of the Associated Press. It's also on Yahoo. Program, that's exactly where they recruit the patsies out of. I mean, I've seen this before.
Surprise me. Because what I'm saying is the MO makeup, it doesn't fit what would be an actual random shooter. You know what I'm saying? I'm a black man, so I'm just saying, why would a white guy be living in a predominantly black apartment complex and then go into a predominantly black theater and shoot people up? Maybe this could be what you're saying about, you know, the race thing that's coming down here too. You know, the provocateur for this. But I'm
oh, wow, if they start, exactly, because I got to tell you, I just looked at the Trayvon Martin thing and the Zimmerman deal, open and looked at it. And then it turned out they knew his head was bashed in, his nose was broken. He went out and said, what are you doing? And Martin beat him up, had split. I mean, you know, white guys, black guys kill each other, whatever. The point is this stuff goes on. And then they did all that, and then the Justice Department tried to hype it. And then MSNBC edited the tape to say, he's a black guy, get him, when the full tape is like, well, what color is he? Well, I think he's black. I mean, the whole thing was a psyop, and you're right. And wow, they are saying that this, so you're saying you live in the area, and I know some of the victims were black. Oh my gosh, if they come out with that angle, holy mackerel, when they get into his computers, because we know, oh man, it could be that.
Let me chime on Trayvon Martin for a minute. I lived in Florida too, and you know, I was stationed down there, and I did not. You know, it's you know, you said you grew up in Dallas, which is bad enough, but I mean, Florida is a really redneck, racist area to live in, and you know, I don't know. You know, him and the kid got into it. My whole point with Trayvon Martin is, if you wouldn't have put yourself in that position, you wouldn't have had to shoot that kid. Well, why would you follow that boy? Why would you follow him?
Well, sure. My point is, we know the government and the media took it and tried to get a race conflict going. That's my point.
Make something. Yeah, yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying. You know what? And we've got this programmed media here in town. This is FEMA Region 8. This is your default capital right here. You know where this is. This is Crystal Palace, baby. This is it.
No. I mean,
this is it.
Why do you think it happened literally right down the road from Columbine? I mean, how suspicious is that? And then right before the UN treaty.
Well, really, it's not down the road from Columbine. It's about, you know, you grew up in Dallas, so I figured it's from Dallas to Plano. But it's about Littleton's about 35 miles away from where this happened. But this is 6 miles away from Buckley 5 miles, not even 5, 4 miles away from Buckley Air Force Base. You know what I'm saying? So I don't trust anything that happened out here the last night. I think this whole thing was staged and planned. The guys don't get gas masks. Where are you going to get a gas mask from? Where are you going to get tear gas canisters? You know what I'm saying? And then you have a booby-trapped house. The house, and then the guy says, well, I booby-trapped my house so the police can't get in it. Who does that?
And they always do that so only the feds can get in and find what they want. Wow, really great points. Thank you so much, Robert. Law from Colorado, you're up next. And I think I know Law. This is a very interesting. His name is Law. You can see Luke on his shoulders bullhorning Chris Matthews in the extras of the Obama deception after they attacked me with a knife and cut my bullhorn.
Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite...
All these people that sell their souls to control others and study the science of the mind and use it to shudder intellects instead of empowering humanity. They do rule an empire of dirt. And that's why they try to hype up evil and ugliness is so beautiful. They're trying to turn our atmosphere politically, spiritually into what they are. It is a kingdom of psychopaths. And they are reporting multiple shooters. That got corrected. They are reporting he went through a theater door that, by the way, are hinged to open out. Have giant metal hinges. You can't... They're sunk into the doors. There's giant metal around them. It's not like it's going this way. It goes this way only. It would take a gorilla to get through that. Oh, but he kicked it in. Oh, really? Oh, really? I've tried to knock down a big door, getting sick of it being locked, a big wooden door. Let me tell you, it's hard. It's hard when you got a couple locks in wood, not going through metal. It takes a battering ram. I'm tempted to, it's so weird. I was going to be in Colorado at this time, but didn't go. Let's go ahead and talk to Law in Colorado. Is this Law the We Are Changer?
Hello, Alex. Why, yes, it is, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. What do you make of all this?
Well, this is very interesting. Everything on our end definitely indicates a false flag type attack. I sent some info to your tipster guys. A guy named Bill Warner out of Sarasota, Florida, reports that the James Holmes, the shooter, was actually a member of the Black Bloc. And whether or not that's the truth or not, when I look at the picture of this guy, he looks really familiar, and we spent, a good couple months down at Denver Occupy basically fighting off the intelligence agencies and trying to wake everybody up to how they control it. And the anarchist Black Bloc had taken over Occupy immediately.
I was assaulted by the Black Bloc, which really is the federal bloc in most cases. When I was at Denver with you guys, they would come up and slap me in the back and punch me and then laugh about it. Of course, you were there when we had them cutting our microphones with knives. That was MSNBC. But, yeah, it's pretty he does look familiar, doesn't he?
Yeah, this guy definitely does. There's no coincidence these things are happening. We just had Chertoff in town, and we hit him pretty hard. I think you guys even put the video up about it. And, of course, Chertoff was talking about all the terror possibilities in local and, in your local areas. And the Denver Post actually put out an article here and basically talking about the Terror Watch guy here, speaking that he knew of Al-Qaeda activity here in Aurora, and it's certain that Al-Qaeda had told its members via websites to go to the U.S., buy guns, and go into shopping malls, churches, and synagogues and start shooting.
Yeah, exactly. So they're saying get ready for the churches, the movie theaters were some of the targets, and then magically this guy who is in an advanced Department of Defense funded program in PhD level for brain interface neuroscience. But the guy's wearing a mask, but now it's him, we're told, and we're all supposed to believe this.
Right. I mean, it's pretty absurd. We could definitely see the patterns of what's going on here. The Black Bloc, these guys are connected to the radical anti-imperialist movement. We've had problems with them in the past, the Barb and Mark Cohen.
They flew in the Black Bloc in '99 to Seattle with government aircraft and put them in a police-controlled area. They were publicly working for the feds. That's on record.
Yeah,
I've had Black Bloc on the street when I don't have a camera walk over and say, we're going to kill you. And I go, you work for the government. They're like, you bet we do.
And one of our guys was in Chicago during the protests a couple months ago, and he saw the people running the marches up there were the Denver Black Cross, the very people we were doing battle.
Amazing.
We're on the march.
Ladies and gentlemen, you better believe that I'll be on the Nightly News tonight with Darren McBreen. Also, some of the InfoWars reporters are here being interviewed for jobs. They're going to be on the Nightly News tonight. And I'll be breaking down the latest 7 o'clock Central. If you haven't gotten a 15-day free trial at Prisonplanet.tv, it takes about a minute to sign up. Just create a username and passcode that you don't use for anything else, and then you can share it because you can be logged in. 6 people can be logged in with the same username and passcode at once. That's 6 memberships for $5.95 a month. Okay? We haven't run ads explaining that. I've been doing that the last few years because finally we've gotten better and better servers. To where before if I gave out, too many basically free memberships, it would bog the site down. Now we've just put so much money into it and put the IT into it that it works like a charm, knock on wood. There are 17 years of my films up there. Well, first one I made was like 16 years ago. There's 16 years of TV shows, films up there. We've had the site 9 and plus years since April of 9 years ago, so a little more than 9 years. There's the daily radio show with streaming video, InfoWars Live, the Alex Jones Show. And then there's the nightly news, and then there's all the special alerts, everything else, my book, Paul Watson's book, a whole bunch of other documentaries we've been authorized to post there where filmmakers contact us and want to premiere films there. It's incredible, and you're supporting the front lines of the info war. Because I don't care if the Washington Post comes out and attacks me or the New York Times. And I want to say this before I go back to calls because we need to be prayed for here. When Richard Poplawski in Pittsburgh killed 3 cops in cold blood, the former Marine did, they didn't blame the Marine Corps. By the way, I don't think they should have. They didn't blame, no, they blamed me. Within 1 hour of arrest, when he gave himself up, I don't ever get this. You like kill 3 people and you're not going to keep killing, or I mean, you know, it's so weird. He kills 3 cops because he's drunk. He's got 2 pit bulls. His mother says get rid of them. They're defecating and urinating everywhere. He's passed out. Cops will tell you the most dangerous thing is a domestic dispute. She calls the cops to throw him out because he bows up to her. But she doesn't tell him, by the way, he's waiting with a semi-automatic AK-47. So the 3 cops come walking up, and he just kills all 3 of them. And then 1 hour after he's in custody, the computers, the first thing they're thinking about is go in there and say, he did it for Alex Jones. He was a fan of Alex Jones. Now, we were able to get his handle and find out who he was from his other public postings on a bunch of other sites where he was attacking me. Oh, he was a white supremacist showing off his tattoos and stuff. For whatever reason, a lot of the white supremacists really hate us because we don't get into a bunch of race stuff. And, don't make our religion attacking Israel all day. And he was all over the web for years saying I was the most evil person basically on the planet. So I contacted 5 or 6 newspapers and I said, I don't want to have to sue you and I'm not litigious, but I'm going to have to. You're telling police he killed people for me. That's very dangerous. And you have no proof. And they all posted retractions. And I had some of the editors call me, and they said, well, what do you want us to do? And I said, you better do a big one, not a little retraction, a whole article retracting this, because I'm going to have to sue you. I don't like getting lawyers and suing people, but I'm going to have to come after you and have to win because, the guy's a white supremacist who basically, in some cases called for violence against us and said I was going to get mine and all this stuff. And then the first thing the people running that police department did when they got in there was blame it on Alex Jones. And they had the local Southern Poverty Law Center connected guy write an article by that evening saying it was basically connected to me. And this has happened a bunch of times. When Nightline, when MSNBC, when CNN, when any of them, when New York Magazine, Rolling Stone, London Guardian, Associated Press, Reuters, syndicated radio, extra hard copy over the years, it's always... when they sit down, CBS News was here a few weeks ago. What do they say to me? Are you worried what you're saying is going to cause some violence? Gee, our country being imploded by foreign bankers, are all of our liberties under attack? I mean, the founders actually went out and started, getting violent. I'm not calling for violence. In fact, I'm an info warrior trying to use the pen, which is mightier than the sword. History shows why it's the First Amendment, then the backup's the second. So no, I'm the opposite of that, and everyone knows it. So stop trying to blame me. And I had the Secret Service show up here a couple of times. I've had the FBI show up and go, do you support this person on your website calling for the death of this cop? And I'm like, no. Well, why did you have moderators remove it? I didn't know they removed it. But they remove any calls for violence. Then I get attacked and I'm censoring. And I said, so stop implying I'm involved in violence. The FBI killed Terrence Yakey, the cop that was exposing the fact that the FBI was involved in Oklahoma City. You want to talk about that? You want to talk about the fact, don't try to set me up, okay? Because I know how the system works. And don't think just because you get 90% stage convictions or whatever, that you're going to get away with this. The point is that we've got the New World Order circling around us. Let me tell you something. They have the White House transition chief of staff and others publicly running Think Progress, funded by George Soros and the Democratic Party. I mean, these are people that actually set policy for Obama, are calling for our funding to be cut off and for us to be shut down. Media Matters that says they'll infiltrate alternative media, and we're listed by them, and destroy them from within. I have to worry new people I'm hiring, and they're all nice folks, but I have to sit there and look at them and go, is this an infiltrator? Okay, that's the world I live in. But who knows what an infiltrator can do? Plant child porn on computers, plant drugs, plant hacked material on our computers.